Muhammad Ali. Snow White. Queen Elizabeth II. Hitler. Y'all are so immature. Polar bear. Leave the animals out of this, please. Martin Luther King. What? The man who stood against the naked. Get out of here. Obama. Simone. Can he be snooped? Please. Rosa Parks. I ain't finna move. Netflix presents Black Panther. Under the sea.
Well, the woke left has done it again. Remember how they changed the race of the Little Mermaid? Now they have decided to do the same thing to Cleopatra, who was an actual historical figure. According to Netflix, Queen Cleopatra was black. At least they didn't make her transgender or some other woke crap. Netflix announced the new documentary series about the famous queen just a few days ago. Here is the announcement made by Strong Black Lead. From executive producer Jada Pinkett Smith comes a new docuseries exploring the lives of iconic African queens. Queen Cleopatra follows the story of Cleopatra, one of the world's most famous and misunderstood women. Queen Cleopatra is available to stream May 10th only on Netflix, and of course people were surprised when they saw this. Cleopatra did not look like that at all. Queen Cleopatra was a Greek woman of Macedonian descent, and they turned her into a black woman. There isn't even a debate. At this point, we are being forced to change reality, to make a group of people feel better about themselves. Some of you may remember the show Lilo and Stitch. Well, a few days ago, the cast was revealed for the show's remake, and people, mainly those who spend their entire life crying on Twitter, were outraged that Lilo's older sister wasn't black, in a show that was played on Hawaii. And you know what? The actress is actually from Hawaii. They are losing their minds because she isn't black enough. Now imagine a situation where the roles were reversed and someone said that she wasn't white enough. That person would have been canceled instantly and called a racist. Here is a few of the most interesting tweets regarding this. Literally, no one asked for a live action. Lilo and Stitch the movies and shows are perfect. As a brown kid, I didn't have a lot of representation growing up, and seeing Disney not cast brown actors to play Nani and Lilo is so hurtful. Disney, do better. How is it hurtful? Why are these people so insanely soft? Literally no one asked for a Little Mermaid remake, but here we are. We now have a black Little Mermaid. They literally took a Hawaiian actress to play a Hawaiian character, but of course that was not enough. Twitter people will always find a reason to complain, even if there is nothing to complain about. This guy tweeted, "Not being indigenous or from a person of color community, it may not be easy to see a problem with this casting, but within our communities, this is a big issue. No offense to Sydney, but Nani is indigenous Hawaiian with strong features and dark skin. This casting is blatant colorism. Then please explain to me how turning a white Greek woman of Macedonian descent into a black woman is not colorism. At least she actually existed. But let's watch the official trailer. Maybe we can find something interesting that explains why Netflix and Jada Smith decided to go with this false narrative."
Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Sorry, wrong clip. This should be the right one.
There was a time long ago when women ruled with unparalleled power as warriors, queens, mothers of nations. And there is none among them more iconic than Cleopatra.
I would die for Egypt. What would you die for?
So far, nothing I can't agree with. Let's get to the spicy part.
Cleopatra was trying to save the country that she loved from destruction.
I did what I had to do to protect what is mine.
This is a woman exercising power.
Cleopatra was a Ptolemaic ruler. The very first Ptolemy is a general of Alexander the Great.
It's possible that she was an Egyptian.
I imagine her to have curly hair like me and a similar skin color.
Well, my friend, I have some rather disappointing news for you then. You don't have to imagine, as we have accurate historical records of what she looked like. And she looked nothing like you.
I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
And I don't care what your grandmother told you, Queen Cleopatra was not even a little bit black. Can we just call this what it is? Because that is a clear case of cultural appropriation and Afrocentrism. We know what she looked like, so who is your grandma to tell historians and archaeologists that they are wrong? If we are rewriting history, why do we only pick the fun and exciting stuff? Let's just go completely crazy. I don't care what historians think. My grandma told me that this guy was actually black. See how stupid that sounds? I also found this one. What do you guys think about it? Let us make these two black and call it a gang war. Africa has an insanely rich culture, so why do these corporations try to steal someone else's history? Make something real and genuine instead of pushing some BS propaganda. Look at the new Super Mario Brothers movie. The left was crying that it didn't include enough diversity and progressive propaganda, while many viewers absolutely loved it and were surprised to see a movie for kids with no LGBT stuff in it. And when you look at the numbers, the movie is breaking records.
Oh yeah, girl. Cleopatra was Greek. The Greeks colonized Egypt for many centuries, actually. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Cleopatra was a fascinating woman. Like, she is so worth the fascination that people have of her. She's just not a fascinating black woman, and that's okay. So what's really interesting is, like, in the family line that she was in, her dynasty, she's actually the first one to actually learn how to speak Egyptian. She was fluent in many different languages. Very smart woman, super smart, super savvy, political. Like, she's fascinating. She was just a fascinating white woman with a very interesting life. So black people, my people, I love us. Well, not all of us. I love a lot of us. I think we need to let this one go. All right, we need to move on past this one. She is not one of us.
Can we all be like this woman and accept history for what it is? These are people that existed. They are not fictional characters you can just change to fit your agenda. Does the truth matter at this point? Or is everything based on feelings now? Egyptians are closer related to people in the Middle East than to sub-Saharan Black Africans. Here is a short article written by anthropologists. We conclude that the Egyptians have been in place since back in the Pleistocene and have been largely unaffected by either invasions or migrations. As others have noted, Egyptians are Egyptians, and they were so in the past as well. All this should offend Africans in the Black community too, because instead of highlighting a real Black female warrior, they're rewriting history. Instead, companies like Netflix are making stuff up to profit off of our anger. And you may ask yourself why they are doing this. Well, they made a movie called The Woman King, and it was not well received because some of the women participated in the African slave trade, and that doesn't really fit their Afrocentric agenda, does it? But what do you expect from a woman like Jada Pinkett Smith?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
I'm going to, okay? Okay.